Good morning. Welcome, everyone. Love to see all this energy in the sanctuary. Good morning to those who are here in the sanctuary and all who are joining us online. Let's begin this morning with a musical prelude from John Mayhood. Thank you, John. Welcome, everyone, to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Charlottesville. My name is Reverend Tim Temerson. My pronouns are he and him. I'm pleased to be leading worship this morning with quite a few people. UUCville member Julia Landis, music director Scott DeVoe, accompanist John Mayhood, musicians Matt Hartung, Amy Wissikirk, and John Semmelhack, and of course the UU Congregation of Charlottesville's fabulous choir. So we are so pleased. This sanctuary was built over 70 years ago on the homeland of the Monacan people and was once cared for by enslaved people from Africa and their descendants. We honor all who have dwelt here and all in our congregation whose lives led to this moment of our gathering. I invite us now to take a few moments to greet one another. Those online can unmute and talk and say hello, and those here in the sanctuary or social hall are welcome to greet your neighbors, especially those you may not know.
Good morning from the Eastern Shore.
Hello.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi, Miss Beverly.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm in Charlottesville.
Yeah. Hi, Donna.
Hi.
I'm going to take this opportunity to make an announcement real quick if you missed this earlier, but there are some interactive elements to today's service. So if you have a piece of paper and a pen nearby, or a marker or crayons, whatever, I would encourage you to get them. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
That works.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
morning.
Okay. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah.
Karen, did you know you're muted?
We offer a special welcome to newcomers. I love the fact that I have to talk louder to get you all to settle in. That shows you there's so much good energy here, which is wonderful. We offer a special welcome to newcomers and invite you to join us for fellowship after the service in the social hall. Feel free to use one of our red coffee mugs, and UUCville members and friends are reminded to offer a warm welcome to anyone with a red mug. There is a live stream of the service in the social hall, and while everyone, of course, is welcome here, the social hall can be a good option if you need a roomier space. Many thanks to all the folks helping us share worship both here and online, greeters, the ushers, the hospitality team, and special thanks to the fabulous Rachel Buckland, who is sitting up there making this service look seamless. Yes. Rachel's making it look seamless. Whether Reverend Tim's got his act together is still to be determined. And now we have greetings from board member Tammy Wilt.
Good morning, everyone. Today we gather as a community of care, united by our shared values and love for this planet we call home. At the heart of the Unitarian Universalism is a deep respect for the interdependent web of all existence. Climate change is not just an environmental issue, it's a moral and spiritual call to action. As stewards of this earth, we are called to act boldly and compassionately. Let this space inspire us to learn, collaborate, and renew our commitment to embody hope and courage in the face of challenge. May we reflect, connect, and find strength in our shared journey toward climate justice.
Nice. Beautiful. Thank you, Tammy. So I've got a few announcements this morning. First, there will be a sustainable potluck following the service in the social hall today. Those of you who brought food for the potluck, we greatly appreciate it. But if you didn't bring food today, that doesn't matter. Everyone is invited to join us for this delicious, delicious potluck. So please do join us for that. Next Sunday is a food sharing Sunday. So we invite people in our community to bring perishable and non-other food items, as well as cleaning supplies, which you would bring to the church on Sunday and just leave them up here. And those are for folks in our congregation whose budgets are particularly stretched right now. We began hosting guests from Pacham last night. We expect to host 35 men over the next 2 weeks. And the good news is all of the food and serving slots are full, meaning many of you stepped up. And we are so grateful for your generosity. We estimate that in our 300 plus member congregation, 100 people are participating in this outreach. That is so wonderful. Also, our congregation is partnering with Ebenezer Baptist Church and the African American Pastors Council to provide support for families in Charlottesville during this Thanksgiving holiday. There is a pink barrel by the Edgewood Lane entrance where you can place cleaning supplies and other items. All donations need to be received by Wednesday morning. I also wanted to mention that yesterday we had our new member and friends class, and I'm very pleased to say that we welcomed 8 new members to our congregation. So very happy about that. After the service, maybe just before you go get your food, or maybe just after, I don't know, Sally Taylor will determine that. We need a little help moving some furniture and other items in the foyer because we're going to have painting beginning here tomorrow. So if you have some strong muscles, which leaves me out, please do just stop by and Sally, you want to just wave your hand? That's Sally. And I can promise you, Sally will get you organized. And then of course, everyone is invited to join us after the service for coffee, conversation, and a potluck in the social hall. So Julia and I would like to share with you a call to worship from the Reverend Barbara Peskin. For the beauty of the earth, this spinning blue-green ball.
Earth, Gaia, mother of everything, we journey gently across your back to come together again, to remember how we can live, to remember who we are, to create how we will be.
Earth, our home, the lap in which we live. Welcome us. So I'd like to invite Sam and Ashley to come forward to light our flaming chalice. And Julia is going to lead us in our chalice lighting words and then in our hand motions.
We gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together. Now, if you'll take your finger as your match and your hand as your matchbook, we light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is a church of open minds. This is a church of helping hands. This is a church of loving hearts.
So friends, let's now rise in body or spirit, and let's join in singing one of our favorite hymns, Blue Boat Home. So please rise, and it's going to sound especially great today because all of you are singing, of course, but we also have the choir here and our musicians. So this is going to be a pretty rockin' version. So please rise. Beautiful, amazing, thank you. You may be seated. So now, Julia and I would like to invite the kids to come forward, the young at heart, anyone who wants to come down close and listen to a really, really great story. So come on down. Come on down, come on down. Everybody's welcome. Yeah. Come on, don't be shy. You grown-ups that like to sit on the floor, you don't have to be shy. So come on down. Fantastic. So good morning, everyone. This is Julia Landis. Many of you know Julia. Julia's grew up in this congregation, and she's just there's so much I could say about Julia, except she's just an all-around really cool person.
Oh,
that's
thank
what
you.
I'm going to say.
Thank you.
So Julia, yesterday there was something going on here at the church in the afternoon called a Climate Justice Revival.
Yeah.
And I saw you there. What was that all about? What did you think about it that was fun or interesting?
I was there. Yeah. Yesterday, we were in the sanctuary here and we were doing a lot of imagination of what our future could look like. And we talked about the challenges to our future. We talked about all of the great things that could happen if our imagination went exactly as we wanted. And then we did some fun, like shaking and I don't know,
Yeah.
calling, some fun
Yeah.
ways to maybe let go of some
Yeah.
stress that talking about the future sometimes brings.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I remember we were doing this part, we were supposed to kind of move around and we're sort of like, making movements and going, "Woo!" Yeah. Believe me, it was relaxing.
It was really
It was
fun.
very fun. Yes, absolutely. So I have to say, Julie, I was very inspired by everything we did yesterday. I just thought it was fun. It was good to be there with other people.
Yeah.
So, but I have to say, Julia, I'm still wondering, and I want to ask you this question. So, we're doing all these good things. We're trying to do good things for the earth, but sometimes I wonder, can we really make a difference? Can we really help? Can one person help? Can one church really make a difference for the earth?
Yeah. Well, yesterday we talked a lot about hope. Yesterday really gave me a lot of hope and the hope that I need. But I really hear what you mean. And I wonder sometimes that myself, like, can one congregation really do anything themselves? But then I think about all the people in the world who are doing so many great things to protect the earth. In fact, one person who I really admire and respect is Autumn Peltier, and she is a member of the Wickwam First Nation in Canada, and she's been a water warrior since she was 8 years old.
Oh yeah, there she is. So that sounds pretty amazing, Julia, but can you help me understand, what is a water warrior? What do they
Yeah.
do? And can you tell us more about Autumn?
I'd love to. Yeah, I just read a really great book, which I'm going to share with you guys. It's by Carol Lindstrom and illustrated by Bridget George, and it's called Autumn Peltier, Water Warrior. And the book begins with some words written by Autumn herself. And she writes, "My relationship with water and my work as an Indigenous water advocate began with my late Aunt Josephine. This book celebrates her work, her wisdom, and her legacy. And as I read these words and saw the beautiful illustrations, tears came to my eyes as I could feel her spirit. In fact, it felt like she was smiling. In our culture, when we look at water as living beings, and we are taught to treat it with the same respect we would give another human. Water is the lifeblood of Mother Earth. It gives life, and there is no life without it. And my hope is that this book will inspire young people to use their voices to speak up for future generations."
That sounds amazing. You wouldn't by chance be able to share that story with us right now, would you?
I would love to read that book with
Fabulous, fabulous.
you. I might take a seat. to read
Please
it
do.
too.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. I am Nibby. I have spirit. I have feelings. I remember. For a long time, all life on earth cared for me, looking 7 generations into the future to make sure I was pure and clean for their children's children. I remember how the Anishinaabe, the water protectors, cared for me. Speak for the water, sing for the water, dance for the water. Over time, more people came, diminishing their voices, drowning out their message. These people didn't care for me. They didn't cherish me. They didn't love me. As my voice grew quieter, the women who cared for me were forced to get louder. And then I met Grandma Josephine. I remember her touch, the ripple she made. She walked miles and miles around the Great Lakes, carrying my spirit in a copper pail so people would see her and see me. The 7th generation is creating a sea of change. It was a soft voice at first, but like a ripple, and with practice, it grew much louder. When Grandma Josephine journeyed into the spirit world, Autumn, her great niece, began to use her voice for me. Autumn is the 7th generation. She honors me through ceremony, offering up a sema and prayers for my health and well-being. I know Autumn, and Autumn knows me. Speak for the water, sing for the water, dance for the water. When she saw signs that read, "Stop, water not safe," to drink, to wash, to touch, she summoned her courage and confronted the people who made decisions, telling them she was unhappy with their choices, telling them that I, the water, was precious, telling them that without me, there would be no life. There'd be nothing. Her ancestors knew that as the 7th generation, Autumn would one day raise her voice. Though she began in her great aunt's footsteps, Autumn is blazing her own path for me. Speak for the water, sing for the water, dance for the water. For the next 7 generations, for healthy animals, for plants, for you, and for me. With Grandma Josephine guiding her and the women who came before her, Autumn visited different indigenous communities. She met leaders from all over the world, speaking out loud and strong for me. Like a ripple in a vast sea, people are beginning to wake up and listen. But I need all of you now to grow the ripple into a tidal wave. Be like Autumn and Grandma Josephine. Leave good footprints for me. Speak for the water. Sing for the water. Dance for the water. What will you do for me?
Thank you. That was really, really wonderful.
Yeah.
Wow. So I'm just curious, what did you all, anybody think anything about the story? Did you think it was interesting? Did you like it? Yeah, it's okay.
Just okay.
Just
Yeah.
yeah. Go ahead.
You
like swimming? Nice, nice. Me too. Me too. Yes, definitely, definitely. So, well, that's great. So, I want to ask a question here.
You know, for me, it was really
Yeah.
interesting. The story, when they talked about the 7th generation.
Yeah, I remember that too, Julia. What do you think that means, the 7th generation?
So when the story talks about the 7th generation, it means that people have to think not just about ourselves, we must also think about the future and the people and living things and all the generations that will come after us. We have to care for the earth for them, not just for us.
That is such an important thing to remember. What we do today affects everyone here and now and those who come after us. And if we don't think about the 7th generation, people will keep doing things that hurt the earth, like polluting the water in the air, cutting down trees and forests, and so many other things that people are doing that are hurting the climate.
You're so right, Rev Tim. And that's why it says at the end of the story that we need to leave good footprints. We're going to be talking about footprints a lot later in the service.
I am looking forward to that, Julia. But I have another question. What exactly do we need to leave good? What do we mean when we say we leave good footprints?
I think a good footprint means anything that we're doing to love and help the earth. Anything we do to leave it healthy and whole for the future generations, especially the 7th generation. The earth is so incredible. I love everything about it. It makes me want to speak and sing and dance. And Autumn and her people care so much about the water. She's dedicated her life to protecting it. I also love the water, but there are other parts of the earth that I care a lot for, and I want to leave good footprints in and around. For me, I want to speak and sing and dance for mountains. I love everything about mountains. What about you, Revchan?
Nice, nice. Well, I also love water and mountains. I also really love trees and animals, and especially the trees and animals that I see around my community, in my neighborhood where I live. I want to leave good footprints for all the living things that are there and for the animals and plants and people who will live there after me.
Yeah. I wonder what everyone here in the sanctuary and online cares most about the earth. I wonder what they want to speak and sing and dance about and where they want to leave good footprints.
Well, you know what? Let's find out. Let's find out. I'm sure many here in the sanctuary have noticed this big piece of paper down the center aisle of the sanctuary. And we also have another one on a table over here, which Julia and I will move over here to the red carpet. So what we want everybody to do, if you are willing and if you want to, would be to go to the paper on the table or on the floor and draw a picture. Could be a small picture. You could write a word if you prefer, of what about the earth that you especially love, that you especially care about. Maybe it's water or mountains. Maybe it's plants or animals. Maybe it's your neighborhood. Could be anything like that. And while those of us in the sanctuary are writing or drawing what we love most, we invite those online to type what they most care about into the chat and to draw a picture at home. So, all right, kids, so I invite you now to go back to your seats, and you'll notice there are crayons on the floor, there's pens in the pews, and for those of you who are okay getting down on your hands and knees and drawing on the paper, please do that. And then we also are going to bring a table over here if you prefer to stand and have trouble getting up from the floor like Reverend Tim. So, all right, let's begin. Beautiful. Right. Yes. So let's finish up, and we're now going to enjoy a wonderful piece by the choir. So, and there'll be more opportunities to do more creative stuff later in the service. So, I'm going to sit with Tammy.
Greetings, hello. So this piece, called Part of It, was written for the Climate Justice Revival by Leah Morris, who has done a lot of things for the UU Church over the past 3 or 4 years since she's been hired to be a songwriter, and Adam Pod, a fantastic pianist based in Brooklyn at the UU Church in Brooklyn, whom I've gotten to know over the years at the national meetings. It's a fun piece, and it's one that actually, if you were at the Climate Revival thing, you heard a tape version of it here, but we're doing this, as I say, brand new version of Part of It.
Thank you, choir. That was wonderful. We are part of it. Yes, we are. As the choir gets resettled and move into our time of centering and sharing, because of time constraints, we won't be doing our usual ritual with the stones, with the glass stones and the water. We'll return to that next week or the week after. Just want to say a quick word. This coming Wednesday, November the 20th, is Transgender Day of Remembrance. This is a day that is set aside to remember all of our trans siblings who have experienced violence, sometimes death, because of hate and intolerance. And we just want to remember those who have been harmed. And also, I wonder if I could invite us just into a moment of silence as we pray and reflect on a world where everyone is safe, people are celebrated for who they are. Let's be together for a brief moment of silence. Amen. We are an interconnected community that cares for one another, and part of how we embody this care is by taking time each week to share the joys and sorrows we hold in our hearts. After the service today, Ellen Longmore from our pastoral care team will be available in the back corner of the sanctuary. If you are in need of someone to talk to, someone to listen, Ellen will be there. And also, for those of you online, if you would like to reach out to the pastoral care team, that's pastoral@uucharlottesville.org. This community offers its love and support to what is closest in our hearts. Another way we show that care is by inviting you to share your financial gifts with our community and our congregation. The Social Action Collection for the month of November is for Lily Pads Housing. Lily Pads is dedicated to providing affordable temporary housing for families traveling to access medical care for their children. Lily Pads offers a network of welcoming homes near UVA Children's Hospital, allowing families to stay close to their children during treatment without the burden of high lodging costs. Rachel, will you please show us the social action slide for giving for those who would now like to make a donation to support Lily Pads Housing? If you prefer to pay by cash or check, there should be Social Action Collection envelopes around the sanctuary, and please place your offering in that envelope and then place the envelope in the collection plate. If you want to write a check, please make it out to UU Congregation of Charlottesville and write Social Action Collection in the memo line. In addition to collecting every month for important and wonderful organizations, we of course invite everyone to financially support the ministries and the mission of this congregation. Through your pledges and weekly Sunday morning offerings, together our financial gifts support UUCville and enable us to put love into action. This is our shared ministry. Again, during the music that follows, you can offer your financial support for the congregation by using the text address or going to our website. You can also place cash or checks in the collection plates as they are passed. Let us now dedicate all of the many gifts we share with one another by saying, "We accept your gifts with gratitude. May we use them wisely for the highest good."
Good morning.
Good morning, Julia.
The Appalachian Mountains are an ancient mountain range, among the oldest on Earth. When all the continents were one, these mountains ran from northern Europe through eastern United States and the western coast of Africa. These mountains connected vast swaths of land and are over hundreds of millions of years old. These aged rolling hills house hundreds of different trees, animals, insects, and plants, a couple of different mythical creatures, regional folklore tales, and local legends. I feel a divine presence when I go on long walks through these mountains, taking time to soak in the surrounding view. At the top of a mountain, the view might be the lower valley, where I can see the mountain range continue for miles into the horizon. Sometimes the view is most stunning in that valley, where I can see the immense diversity of flora and fauna that surround me. Or when looking in caves and other geological structures that show the long, aged history of these mountains. Recently, I learned to appreciate the beauty found in the resilient communities among these mountains where fiercely strong Appalachian people live. Coal mining has been the largest industry in the central Appalachian region for the past 150 years. Coal was and continues to be used to power trains and factories, though when burned, it creates a lot of toxic gases that harm the planet and the miners. Coal mining created the largest boom of jobs ever seen in central Appalachia. Coal companies created profitable communities and ample but temporary housing for the miners and their families to live in while working in the mines. And since the 1980s, coal mining has declined in many of the communities through central Appalachia. When coal boomed, companies intentionally prevented any other economic opportunity from entering coal towns. They wanted miners to only have mining as an option for their jobs. Now that coal companies don't employ as many miners, there aren't other job options in these previously coal-run towns. The process of coal mining significantly harms the people who mine it, and it harms the mountains during its removal. The hills are being hollowed out from the mining, sometimes even bulldozed, as the practice of removing coal has companies chopping off the tops of mountains in a process known as mountaintop removal. Miners are being harmed too. Coal mining takes a hefty physical toll on the body and an especially large toll on the miner's lungs. The process of mining creates a dust that is inhaled when the rock is breaking apart, giving miners a condition known as black lung. Black lung is forcing the people mining coal to get sicker and sicker and are dying at rapidly younger ages. In our story, Adam Peltier was frustrated and angry that her community did not have clean drinking water. The Anishinaabe people were caretakers of the land and water around them for generations, but it was being polluted, and the land couldn't care for them any longer. The water in our story urged us to speak for the water, sing for the water, and dance for the water. And when I think of the mountains and how they are being weakened from the inside out, it makes me want to speak, sing, and dance for their majestic beauty and the resilient communities calling them home. For the past year and a half, I lived in Jonesville, Virginia, a small town in the most southwestern tip of Virginia, where I worked with the Appalachia Service Project, a regional home repair nonprofit that works with homeowners to make their homes warmer, safer, and drier. In my year in Jonesville, I worked for numerous different families, getting to know their stories and family histories. I spoke with local people born in the mountains. I met Ron Carson, a community member and public health professional who stood up to coal companies for miners with black lung disease. He now runs the Appalachian African American Cultural Center and frequently teaches regional Black history to ASP volunteers and other local community members. I met Dr. Art Van Zee, a local physician who is helping communities heal from the effects of the opioid epidemic, largely caused by the effects of coal mining on miners' bodies. These are people local to the county where I lived who are speaking, singing, and dancing for the mountains and the communities they call home. In a couple minutes, Rev Tim and I will ask you all to join to draw how you will speak and sing and dance for the earth. During my year in Jonesville, I spoke, sang, and danced for the mountains around me by being in community with people who cared as much for the mountains and the local communities there as I did. Now that I am no longer living there, I will continue to read and listen to the people who are experiencing these inequalities in the community firsthand. I will be singing and dancing for the earth by absorbing the beauty of the mountains and encouraging others to go out and experience it for themselves. When it comes to speaking for the earth, I will listen to local leaders, amplifying their calls, and I'll share my lived experience. I don't have all the answers for how the mountains and mountain communities can heal from the effects of coal mining, and it's okay if you don't have all the answers either. But I will continue to show up and bring my care for the mountains and the communities there into the work I do each day. What will you do?
Beautiful. Thank you, Julia. Thank you so much for that reflection. You know, as I was listening to you talk about your passion for mountains and for the people who live in the mountains and live in Appalachia, kind of reminded me of autumn and the story that we heard. In fact, I was telling Julia, maybe this congregation needs to write and publish a book called Julia Landis, Appalachian Mountain Warrior. So, so as Julia said near the end of her reflection, we now want you to share how you want to help heal and protect the earth, not just for today, but for the future and for the seventh generation. Think for a minute about the picture you drew a minute ago about what you care most about the earth. What we want you to do now is to take one of those footprints that are scattered around the sanctuary in the pews, so you can start looking for those. And by the way, I don't know how many people are here. We might not quite have enough footprints. If you can't find one, Linda Dukes has also scattered index cards around the sanctuary as well. And there are also pens and pencils and of course crayons. And so if you run out of footprints, look for an index card. So what we want you to do is to draw or write one or two things that you want to or can do. If you love the mountains like Julia, what will you do to protect them? How might you protect the water if that's what you drew in your picture? And don't forget, wait, Scott, not quite. I'm still talking. Just hang on a second. There are all kinds of ways that you can help. You can write a letter. You can draw a picture. You can send an email. You can sign a petition. If you're good at technology, you could maybe make a little video about why you care so much about parks or water. There are so many ways that you can help out. If you like to sing or dance, maybe you could put on a little play or something about why the earth is so important. There are so many different ways that you can help out. So after you finish, Scott's going to play some music while you're drawing. After you finish writing or drawing on your footprint, what Julie and I would like you to do is to bring it forward, and you can put it down here on the red carpet. You can put it up on the chancel. If you are writing something on your footprint that might require you to go out in the world or the community, you can even put your footprint over by the door, meaning you're going to take it out into the world. So you can put your footprint anywhere you like, but we'd love to see all of those footprints gathered together. So, all right, so get scribbling, get drawing, and then bring your footprints forward. Let's begin. Beautiful, beautiful. So, as you're making your way to the potluck, and we still have a couple things left to do, but I invite you to, come up and look at what people wrote. Look at the drawings on the runner down the center aisle. This is very, very, I don't know, it's very inspiring. So let's now rise in body or spirit to sing a rousing closing hymn, The Fire of Commitment. It's in the teal hymnal, but the lyrics will be on the screen. So please rise. Right on time. That's good. Very important. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you to our wonderful choir and all of our musicians. Just a beautiful, beautiful music for this service today. Before I deliver our closing words, I just want to offer a word of thanks to our UU Seville Ministry for Earth. This whole weekend, yesterday and today, was put together by that wonderful group. And I especially need to give a shout out to Kim Grover, who really, this was her dream. Kim, thank you so much for your leadership and your vision and your persistence in seeing this through. And it was a long journey, but you did a wonderful job, and we are so grateful to you and all of the people who pitched in and made this weekend so beautiful and so impactful. So, Julia, would you mind extinguishing the chalice? For our closing words today, I want to leave you with these from Gary Kowalski. Go in peace. Speak the truth. Give thanks each day. Respect the earth and her creatures. Care for yourself and for others. Live simply. Be of service. Be guided by your faith, not your fear. Go lightly along your path. Journey in peace and praise. Amen. Blessed be. Please come to the potluck and go in peace.